Thank you, Laura. And now we have Chandra Sekhar Reddy. You're the founder and CEO of APMAS. APMAS is running projects promoting climate resilient agriculture practices by adopting innovative mitigation and adaptation practices.
Thank you. Do you want my mic? Um, Thank you very much. I think there is a competition. How loud can you be to deal with the session going on next door? So I'm delighted to be here and speaking about our experience. Particularly, we work with the AEIN Luxembourg, which is our partner in the climate smart agriculture. And we work in the southern part of India, which is closer to Bangalore, if any of you know the Indian topography. And this is a very innovative initiative that we have been doing now for 4 years. We have another 3 years. How do we do community-based climate smart agriculture, climate resilient communities? How can we develop? So I'll just share a few ideas. And as an NGO based in India, we've been doing this work for 22 years now. We currently work with around 100,000 farmers and around 200,000 women. Financial inclusion, inclusive finance. Yeah, the next slide. Or do I move it? Okay. In terms of the climate smart villages, we have these 5 major interventions that we have been tweaking and doing some course correction over the past 4 years. One is climate resilient agriculture. Again, in all these aspects, the core element is community driven approaches. It is led by the community through self-help groups, through farmer producer organizations. So there is crop diversification is most important. And you all know that food security has been at risk. And so we are focusing on how do we promote crop diversification for food security, nutritional security, cultivation of millets, which are more resistant for any drought kind of situation. In the geographic areas that we work, the rainfall is below 500 millimeters per annum. So that's the kind of, right, and it's very erratic kind of a rainfall. The second intervention, which is innovative, is promoting farmer producer companies or collectives, which are more like cooperative organizations, and also the village climate risk management committees. So the idea is how can this be community owned, community driven, community managed, community led kind of an initiative. The other certain innovations related to community level adaptation is the Miyawaki plantation, biochar application, the biodynamic composting. So these are ways by which you move away from chemical agriculture to natural farming or organic farming, and that is something that the farmers, it's improving their health, it's improving their nutrition, and it's improving the nutritional security. The fourth is the knowledge management. I think we all talk about capacity building, and how do we build capacity of community-based organizations so that it all happens at the level of the village. There we conduct farmer field schools, field days, some kind of community using the kind of local knowledge, their understanding about conventional agriculture or what is called natural farming. And finally, I want to mention we have our friend from the Luxembourg ministry, that we are thankful to the ministry because we are able to leverage the local government funds. So let us say if we are able to spend $100, we are able to leverage $200 from the state government or the national government. So in a way, your euro is going longer than you would imagine. I think that's something maybe we should start reporting in terms of how much the NGO projects leverage, particularly climate smart projects leverage. And also I want to mention that our focus is more on adaptation than mitigation. because we don't want poor and vulnerable families to take responsibility for mitigation. They focus more on adaptation so that their own livelihood security is enhanced. We also work with other NGOs in that area. I have a few pictures, I thought I'll kind of run through them. So the biodynamic composting or the living soil, how the communities prepare it themselves. Um, and the green manure application to improve the carbon fixation into the soils. So this is again something that's widely now practiced. And whatever we demonstrate, we are also simultaneously working on scaling up. The bore wells that are there because of rainfall being very scarce. So the recharge of the bore well, whenever there is a rainfall, how the bore wells get recharged. These are community-based approaches. Protective irrigation, especially when you have a dry spell for 1 month or 6 weeks, you bring water so that you kind of save the crop and the farmers have the crop. And then crop diversification. So we are talking about millets, we are talking about groundnuts, we are talking about not monocropping but multi-cropping, and the whole symbiotic relationship between the crop and the animal husbandry. So that's something that we widely promote. Millet cultivation, again, it's also supposed to be very good for nutrition. So we promote widely. Now, the government of India and the state governments have also introduced millet as part of the public distribution system. So it is also provided in the schools in the midday meals program. Distribution of the plants. So again, focusing on forestation is something that we do. And the farmers plant these trees, mango and other varieties of fruit-bearing trees in their lands on the bunds. Wow. Farmer Field School, I mentioned, this is again a very participatory, community-based approach to identification of pests and diseases, and pest management is something that's done. Also the kind of natural concoctions that they are able to prepare. Both women and men work together in this work. We also, because in addition to agriculture, farmers also depend on livestock, milch animals. So we promote fodder varieties that are sustainable so that they have improved yield of milk from the cattle that they have. Wow. The training and capacity building, we do a lot of training workshops. The farmer producer organizations conduct their annual general body meetings. So it's very participatory kind of a process. Biodynamic composting or preparing of the organic manure. So finally, this is, I think, my last slide. I just thought I'll summarize that what are the benefits of having this kind of northern NGOs work with the southern NGOs, and how climate finance helps. Number one, I think, the NGOs that work with us, particularly the AEI in Luxembourg, we are able to pilot innovations that can be taken to scale. We also do training of government officials, training of other NGOs, so that's one important benefit. And this is through community-based organizations so that it's sustainable. Second, we have leveraged, as I mentioned, the state-level government funds that are meant for these kind of work. The third most important is training capacity building so that the communities have the capabilities beyond the life of the project and the efforts become sustainable, that ensures food and nutritional security with the focus on adaptation. And then based on the experience and learning, for example, in the state of Andhra Pradesh in India, we now have almost 500,000 farmers practicing natural farming. So we have become part of that movement so that it's not just a small, we work only in 14 villages, but we are able to influence this larger system of, the Andhra Pradesh community-based natural farming system. And finally, building strong resilience and food security. How do we make sure that this entire process is bottom up and not top down? Because one problem with governments doing it is that it tends to be top down. But if NGOs are involved, then the communities are involved. It's a participatory process. Local knowledge and local understanding is used. As a result, we are able to see greater impact, and that is being scaled up. So with that, I think that's about it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.